Hola amigos, ¿cómo están todos? I hope everybody's doing well. Welcome back to the Language Tutor Spanish podcast. I'm your profesor de español, Danny Evans, and I'm so glad to be hanging out with you and practicing in this episode. It is episode 65. And on the YouTube channel, we talked about the past anterior tense. Yeah, the one that it's going to be helpful to some of you, and to some of you, maybe not so much. But you know what? We can practice it anyways, right? And that way, if you ever come across it, you have it down. And like I said on YouTube, you don't really use this a lot in speaking, but you will come up with different passages and paragraphs, stories, that sort of thing in literature that does use this tense. And so it's definitely something you'll come across if you're reading Spanish. And I do recommend to read Spanish as a practice. All right. For our first practice, what I want to do is practice the forms of haber that go with this tense. So I'm going to call out those 10 subject pronouns out of order. And I just want you to say the form of haber that we use with this tense. So here we go. The first one up is the usted form. And that is hubo. Up next is ellas. And that's hubieron. And now the nosotros form. And that's hubimos. And now the yo form. And that's hube. Now él. That is hubo. And now the ustedes form. And that is hubieron. And now the tú form. And that's hubiste. And up next is the vosotros form. And that's hubisteis. And now the ellos form. And that is hubieron. And one more, it's the ella form. And that is hubo. All right, guys. Well, we've practiced the forms of haber. Now, for this next and final practice, what I want to do is just give you some sentences that you can put into Spanish using the past anterior tense. All right, so these will be a lot like what we did on the YouTube lesson. So we can sort of take what we learned there and modify it a little bit and then come up with some new context. All right, so this first sentence, I'm going to go ahead and read it to you. It's when he had lived in Salamanca for 20 years, he sold his house. Now, before you translate this, I want to talk about that word for. When he had lived in Salamanca for 20 years. Now, we've learned how to say for, por, or para. You usually have to decide which one it is. But I want you to use a different word that we haven't really used that much, and it is durante, D-U-R-A-N-T-E. Durante means during or while. And so try to bring that word into your vocabulary. So let's use that one for to imply during, okay? So when he had lived in Salamanca for 20 years, he sold his house. Put that into Spanish. All right, so this sentence would sound like this. Cuando él hubo vivido en Salamanca durante 20 años, él vendió su casa. One more time. Cuando él hubo vivido en Salamanca durante 20 años, él vendió su casa. All right, let's go to our second sentence. After they had eaten, we left. After they had eaten, we left. All right, that sentence would sound like this. Después de que ellos hubieron comido, nosotros salimos. One more time. Después de que ellos hubieron comido, nosotros salimos. All right, let's do one more for our episode today. And remember that phrase, as soon as, tan pronto como. So we're going to bring that one in and practice it. As soon as I had finished the test, they finished too. As soon as I had finished the test, they finished too. And that sentence would sound like this. Tan pronto como yo hube terminado el examen, ellos terminaron también. So one more time. Tan pronto como yo hube terminado el examen, ellos terminaron también. And mis amigos, that wraps up today's practice for this episode. I hope this has been beneficial for you. Hope everybody's doing well, staying safe. If you want to contact me, let me know how you're doing in Spanish, have a question for me, comment. I'd love to hear from you at DannyEvans3371@gmail.com. Just shoot me an email. And also be sure to go on to Facebook and find the Language Tutor Spanish Facebook page. I'd love to have you on there as well. All right, guys. Well, it's been fun. I hope everybody has a great one. I wish for you and all of your families and friends paz y bendiciones, peace and blessings. And I'll see you on the next episode of the Language Tutor Spanish. Hasta pronto.